Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. Fairly sure that's, we're just checking because the water truck's coming. You can hear it. It's the biggest truck that goes down the street. That's how we can tell. It's the water truck. Thank you for joining us in the circle of holy light to see and ask Jesus what we need to look at today. Jesus, we ask you for your help to see what miracles need to be performed. We acknowledge your head of the atonement. Any decisions in mind that we're having. And actually, if you want to place a chair here, Renee, if someone would like to come sit here, if they hear something from Spirit to share. So everyone has the opportunity, if there's something arising to be shared. Christy, of course, had to go down for the water truck. I'm fairly sure it's a water truck. You never really know, but we can guess. So is there anything that anyone would like to share or express or ask Jesus for help today? It's really beautiful to hear your voices speak the voice for God. The acknowledgement they are all an expression of divine love, and it's our function to speak. Is there anything that you're hearing from Spirit hearing from the Holy Spirit to talk about today? Rita, did you want to come speak? And if you hear anything that Jesus is saying.
Actually, I got really upset about I have this seeming condition with my lungs. And because there are times when I still believe it's true and I still believe I have this condition. And there's a guy downstairs cleaning with this solvent that's really strong. And I got upset about him being down there without a mask on, with you asking me to go out there and do something. And I wanted to defend my illness. I wanted to defend the fact that I've got this illness and I'm not being treated fairly, and neither is he. So I know that I need a correction.
And what does Jesus say about it that we can all look at?
Jesus says the only power it has is the power I give it. And that it has no power. And just to keep following him, keep my eyes on the truth, which is that I'm not a body, I'm free, and I'm still as God created me. I could never be sick in truth.
And what desires, is he sharing any desires like that we can all look at around body identification or thoughts of limitation that he's directing us to look at? What's the desired experience?
The desired experience is to have this illness. The desired experience is to be different, to be separate, to be, something seemingly wrong with me. And underneath that, I already know it. Underneath it, I know what it is. I've already, Jesus and I have been looking at this. He's been looking at this with me since I've been here pretty intensely.
So what would he be looking, what could we look at now? Specifically, what do you feel like he's saying now about it that we can all look at? Because it's really for the whole. There's no one, it's just the play in consciousness. What specifically, what desire can we look at?
Well, the desire for me is the desire to be loved and to be treated differently because I have this illness, and I still have it, that I need to be protected because of this illness. I would want everybody to come and say, okay, Rita, I understand that you have this, so why don't you sit over here and, maybe you can have a popsicle. Like that. Or, some kind of a treat.
That's so precious. It's ridiculous. It's so precious.
So, I know though.
So
Yeah.
let's just ask them, where can we go deeper, like in terms of looking at because we see as we're looking at these things, right, that it's a play in consciousness and it's innocence playing, like no one's actually doing it. Can we find in the light of divine being anybody doing this? So that hilarity, the humor is so great because, we're looking directly with them at what we really believe about ourselves, the limitations. And so maybe you can take us deeper on the desire to find that, keep hold of that false concept of love through some idea, because that's really what it is. We were talking about this morning, like really wanting, want to hold on to that piece of identity around that this is going to bring me the love, all the love I wanted, whatever it is that appears. It's all the same. So what?
Yeah,
Is he?
that's
What
it.
is he saying? Yeah,
That's exactly what
want
it is.
love. Okay.
It's a desire to be loved and cared for, and to be,
Horizontally.
horizontally.
Yeah.
So
let's ask someone to go deep. Maybe we could just I'm asking, so much love in looking at this. There's free, so much love to look at that itch for the horizontal love through that experience. Someone will love me, the otherness, trying to get love through otherness. So we can just really be with that. I want it, Jesus. Jesus, do we have a desire to try and find love, which is really death, but the ego's version of love through horizontal?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just be with that. We're just with that. Okay. I admit it. And will you show me how it's death? See, because we forgot and we got tricked in the mind. And now we want to really see how that search for love is actually death. Any kind of horizontal searching in form. Show me how that's death.
Yeah. Mm. It's an attempt to make real what could never be real.
Jesus, will you show us that wanting it to be real when we can't be real? That wanting energy, that desire to make it real. Oh, I want it, that energy, so we can release it for a miracle. He says, love, yes, with so much love. Are we ready for a miracle?
Yes.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yes.
It's starting to feel how much love there is in that miracle. Just feel it.
Mm.
And everyone can feel the miracle, see, because we're one. You can just feel that love release. That's how come it's for the whole. The miracles are for the whole. Are you hearing anything else about it, Rita?
You just, Jesus, lovingly give it to me. Just, I can't help you if you don't give it to me. Just keep giving me these beliefs so I can set you free from them. And I hear that a lot. Just keep giving them to me. And
Are there any other beliefs, or does it feel complete? Is there anything else?
it feels fine. It feels complete. It's good to bring Jesus into these misperceptions. So I was out of here. I'm like, I'm out of here. Where they where's my suitcase? This is bullshit. But you know, yeah, so I know that's not in my best interest to be out of here. Okay, let's see. Anyone else?
It feels good though, just to mention that play, because it's so beautiful. Rita's been such a beautiful symbol of that, like catching it, like not falling for like packing the bag, and seeing that it's not about moving to someplace else. It's about seeing what's true here right now. And the ego is going to want to move because it knows it's in a discomfort zone. And it knows it has the power. We've given it all the power to manufacture a brand new scenario where the ego goes, oh, so glad got out of there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing about it is, we're still living in a haunted house. No
true.
matter where we go, the haunting goes with us. And you know what? It's hilarious because if you ever watch some of those, I'm not just see if it's spirit recommended, but anyway, I used to watch those poltergeist things, and people would move houses and the ghosts would go where they went.
Yeah.
Because it's still the desire in the mind to experience poltergeist. And then it just would go room to room to room, you know? And that's what it's happened. We're living in a haunted house because we keep, and if you notice, even when some of these guys go in, they tell the beings in that house, they go, you are bringing this to you. You are calling this entity to you. You see, they know, we know we're calling that experience to come in, to be, to pretend like they're the ghost in the house that's haunting us.
Yeah.
So it's really beautiful, that expression, like
It's
so good.
It's a total inside job. There's no running. There's nowhere to run or hide. I could go across the planet and I'd still be, the ego would be with me.
So anyway, that's so great. Oh, love you, Rita.
Love you too. All
Yeah,
right,
does
kids.
anybody else? She's going. Okay. Anybody else have a?
Okay, there you go.
It's really not a hot chair. We're not trying to put smoke in there.
Heidi's got her hand up.
Oh, Heidi does. Okay, wonderful, Heidi. Thank you. Unmute. I'm going to turn it a little bit here so I can see you. Okay.
Okay, so I can so relate to Rita. I'm going through a lot of the same stuff. And I had that very theme come up in my awareness, was like the poltergeist thing. Like I had this awareness that I'm doing this to myself. I suffer pain. I just suffer a lot of pain. And I had that realization that, and it scared me. Like I'm doing this to myself, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to quit this. It hurts. This just hurts. And the experience right now is, now the United States is going through it's probably everywhere, but the opiate crisis, and I take opiates for my pain, and I'm going through this experience with the pain clinic and the insurance that they don't want to authorize the medication because they're not getting what they're asking for. And then I can't even get a hold of the pain clinic or the, I can get a hold of the insurance, but they can't really help.
So can you pause just a minute, Heidi, and we'll just rest for a minute and just be still for a minute so we can all be present together. Just for 1 minute, and let's just take a little pause and just listen and hear what Jesus says is the underlying desired experience related to taking opiates or not. What could we all look at today relative to the use of any kind of placebo, or what is Jesus saying? Because I know you can hear him and you do talk to him, to really hear what he says that we need to look at today around that.
I don't know how to answer that other than just all the beliefs that I'm believing about it, like the desires for no communication. I mean, I've been, like I said, I came on here the last time and it was over pain, and it's just an ongoing thing, and I just cannot hear what he has to say about these things on this issue. I'm getting in touch with the desire for things, and I'm just thinking that it is so insane. It's so insane that I would desire these things because they hurt.
Yes. And we thank you for keeping coming, because we're all addicted. There's no, it seems, what I'm realizing is it shows up in so many diversified ways. It can show up in pain in the body. It can show up as a withdrawal, like a blank state. We were talking about that yesterday. It was just a beautiful demonstration of, and a realization how rage shows up in such a diversity of ways. Like we think rage shows up when you're screaming and yelling, but no. That's one expression, and actually most of the time screaming and yelling is just to keep the rage in play. It's just the mask. But the mask can show up by, the mask is any kind of mind wandering. Actually, Jesus has given me the talk on any kind of mind wandering at all, so it's just really helpful. And that's why we're here together, to really look, what can we look at in terms of any desired experience? So yeah, so it seems to be pain in the body, but it's still, there's some desired projection under that we can all look at, because I suspect almost everyone here could raise their hand and relate to the experience of pain in a body. You know, and having had to look at it with Jesus. So as many times as you come and you want to bring it up, that's as many times as we need to look at it in this light circles. That's because that's the whole gig, because once that's seen through, that's a direct path to freedom. Once you start seeing, okay, like you're talking about, Heidi, all right, so somehow I'm generating this. Somehow I really want this out picturing. And so then we ask Jesus, okay, Jesus, what then? And we can all ask him, because we can hear it, and we can hear through our brother. So we can ask him, okay, Jesus, so there appears to be pain in our recognition. So he's talking about how it's a projection. So we see that. What don't we want to see when pain appears? Do you hear anything from him, Heidi?
What do we say that again? What do we not want to see when pain appears?
Yeah, when pain appears, it's trying to divert us from looking inward.
Yeah, that I'm innocent and I'm the son of God.
Yes.
And
Yes. So the desired experience is not to be innocent and whole. Jesus, will you show us that itch not to be whole? The wanting not to be whole, like with every bit of energy we have, sometimes really that's how deep this thing is. It's like, oh, I want it really badly not to be whole and innocent, and just let him show it to us. All right, you're right, Jesus. Let's ask him, Jesus, do we have a desire not to experience ourselves as whole and innocence through pain in the body? Oh, you can hear a yes right away. Okay. All right. So show. All right. So will you show us that desire not to be whole through and holy through an experience of pain? We're willing to look at that. You want to let them take you down to the I don't want that, like almost like you're a screaming kid.
yeah, and that's where that poltergeist feeling came in. Like, this scares me that I'm doing this to myself. And I really need to understand this, because I don't want to hurt myself anymore.
That's so beautiful. Even that recognition. So we're going to find the poltergeist. So Jesus is going to help us. Jesus, will you help us with this? What do you hear, Heidi? I hear yes. Do you hear him?
Well, yes.
Okay. So yeah, because
yes, I would like to.
Yes, he loves us. So show us the poltergeist, and ask him, say, show me the poltergeist. Show me where that is, that miscreation.
I can't seem to get underneath it.
Well, I'll just speak and then you test with Jesus, okay? Because we're here to support each other. Sometimes it's clearer than others, so we can all hear him better at different times. So he said, look with me at how much you, now, when I'm saying you, remember, I'm talking to consciousness and it's coming through, like, look how much you want to prove there too. Use pain to prove there too. There's something outside. Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness to try and use pain to prove outside, other?
Yeah, I mean, that has to be, it has to be that.
So you can
it
just
has to be yes.
Yeah, so just hear the yes from him and just kind of like you kind of say yes with him inside. Yes, you're right, Jesus. You're absolutely, go to the point where you can really say, oh, I know this with every cell, that what he's saying is right. Does that make sense to where it's just, oh, he's so right about this, that kind of feeling?
I think I'm stuck in beliefs still, and that's
Okay.
why I can't seem to get down there.
Okay, so let's just start with the belief then. What belief do you feel like you have?
Well, the beliefs are that, up until the course, I believed that the body was creating the pain, but
Okay, so let's look at that. So you take that one thought, the body is creating the pain. We'll just check in, Jesus. Is that thought, do I still believe that thought? And see what does he say?
there is a belief still, yes.
Okay, so just take that thought. What was the thought?
That the body's generating the pain and not the mind. Like, I believe that the body's.
Okay, so we take that thought. Now we recognize that there's infinite light here, right? Infinite, unchanging being. So you just take that thought, the body is creating the pain, and put that in infinite light, and what happens to it?
Well, as I'm learning, through the words of the course, I it's not true.
Okay, so just check. So what I do, like, if this experience here is, if I give over a thought to Jesus and I put it in the light of truth, that's asking for a miracle. And I just check in with him and I go, okay, Jesus, is that thought still, do I still believe that thought, or is it clear? So I just check in. So what does he
There
say?
is still belief of that thought.
Okay. And then you can ask him, am I ready for a miracle, or is there something else I need to see here? Do we desire that thought more than a miracle? Is that thought of greater value than a miracle?
You know what? I in answer to that, I want the answer to be that the miracle is greater, but something stood up and said that the belief is better, is stronger.
Okay, so there's see, that's the desire. So Jesus is showing us that there's a desire for the experience, that the body creates pain. So it's a desired experience that the body creates pain. So do you feel like, and so we can only ask, Jesus, can you help us work through seeing through that that's not true? And he's going to say, only if you're willing to look at it a new way. See, we have to be willing or it can't go anywhere. If we're not willing, then there's no place it will remain. So we have to accept the power that we have as divine being to say, no, I'm ready for something different. So
So
that's
what comes up for me is that I feel like I'm ready for something different, but this thought or belief seems to want to stand in the way of my accepting that miracle. Like,
so
it just says, nope, the body's the creator of this pain, and I can't seem to get to that miracle.
well, there's just, because there's layers under that, because we don't want to see what's under it. Jesus, do we have a desire not to see under this desire? Is there a desire to keep this as experience?
In my right mind, I want to say that there is no more desire for this, but I think there must be. There's more desire to continue in this pain.
Yes, and that's why it appears for all of us. That's the play in consciousness, to keep it, because we believe salvation's in it. Ask Jesus, Jesus, do I believe that salvation is in keeping this belief? I believe I can get love through this belief. Ask Jesus. Yeah, so we just ask Jesus, because this plays for all of us. See, if this is why Jesus is saying, if we believe salvation is in this means, see, we believe pain is love.
Yeah, is that insane or what?
It is really insane, but until we're willing to have the willingness to put that thought fully in the light of divine being. As long as we want to hold on to a piece of personal identity, Jesus can't help us with it. It'll still appear in consciousness. The pain will continue to appear because we're manufacturing it. The only way to turn off the manufacturing engine is to be with him, either work with him, on the beliefs, or those that are ready are going to go right to the desire. Show me directly the desire for this experience. I'm willing to sit with it and let that toast out like a tostada, and just toast out the energetic, because it's all energy. It's an energetic play, because when we look, we see the light's not here. The light's not, isn't a pain. Is the light a pain generator? It's not a pain generator. So pain is merely a signal that we're deciding to take a snooze. It's a snooze signal. It's the infinite being trying to stuff itself in a box. And so it's going to hurt. And so pain manifests. That's the manifestation of pain.
What is so scary about letting go of pain?
Well, we think love's in it. It's part of the play in consciousness to be afraid of it. But see that the light's not afraid of letting go of pain. Is the light asking you to hold on to it?
No.
So that's just that's beautiful question. That's a power question. Because once we see that it's not scary at all to let go of pain, the jig's up. Then we just look directly with Jesus to go, oh, I'm generating this. I'm curious. We just get curious about it. It's like, let's just look and see. Because we can have the pain back. Because we can miscreate it. But sometimes consciousness needs to get so sick of its own thing that it's just willing to look and just go, oh, that's enough. That's insane.
I'm there.
So
that's insane, and I'm done with it.
So we can just ask Jesus for help now. Do you see, when the willingness comes in, then all things are possible. When there's not willingness, you know what not willingness looks like? Order of difficulty of miracles. See, it'll be miracles for everybody else except me. But that's also a play in consciousness, because Jesus is telling no order of difficulties of miracles. So this is, now here's the opportunity. You can hear the willingness, right? This is the willingness. That's why he's working with us so directly, because we don't even know where we're not willing. We don't even know where there was a link in consciousness, because consciousness loves doing this. If something happened to us when we're little, we pretend like for the rest of our lives, we're like scarred with that. So in terms of pain, when did pain become a means to get love? In the confused mind.
As a child. Yeah, the belief that a mother that didn't love her child, and the only way she could get love is when she was, not well.
Yeah, this is beautiful. So with Heidi helping us see, it's so beautiful. There's so much love in this. It's crazy. Is that how the consciousness works to make that link that salvation, love, quote unquote, occurs through an illness. Every illness is traced back to this, to the desire to get, there isn't one. I've never, there, you can ask Jesus. Jesus, is there a single illness or suffering that doesn't stem from the seeking of love horizontally? Remember, he said it's some kind of seeking. And what we're seeking for is a conceptual idea of what love is. So if there's still a belief of what love is below the level of awareness, that concept and consciousness links to it through pain, we will not let go of that pain. We'll hold on to the pain because there's still a belief that love can be found in it. That's why I say it's so strong that salvation can be found through that. And it's the hunting. We're going to get it. And then it's like desperation to get it. And then it's just, it kind of get lost underneath our awareness. And then it gets covered over. It's just a play in consciousness. So it's the way innocence plays. But until it's seen through, like Heidi, you're starting to see that it's insane. This is insane. And I don't have to have it. I don't have to tolerate it. See, it's tolerating it. It's tolerance for suffering. It's tolerance for, it's confusion. It's just, it's the way innocence plays. It gets confused that it has, so it gives all the power to a thought, and the thought becomes manifest. All the power that a body has control over infinite light. We can ask Jesus, Jesus, is there a belief here that the body has more power than infinite light? Is there a desire for that experience?
Well, so like in answer to that, my mind can't seem to find the answer. Like all it says is insanity, insanity.
Yes. So if we just put the sanity aside, because it is insanity. Okay, so but what's helpful is when we go directly to Jesus. So we just asked Jesus. It is insane, but until we see all the, he shows us kind of the mechanism below our level of awareness with that, he uses that laser to see what we don't want to see. Am I willing to see what I don't want to, what's been denied? And what's being denied is that the light has more power than anything in form. So Jesus, do I desire an experience in which a body has more power than the light?
I can only say I must. It must. It must, because it's in my awareness.
Yes. So you can just work with Jesus on that, and he can just show you that desire for the powerlessness in it. And I think you've been looking with him as well. So for all of us, we can just look, Jesus, is there a desire to feel powerless in the face of my own body? Like to be held hostage by the body having a pain in it.
That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm hostage.
So it's a desire for an experience of feeling hostage to the body. We can look at that. That's beautiful. Okay, Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness to have an experience of being hostage to the body?
It keeps coming out. It must be. It has to be, because I have to be desiring it because it's in my awareness.
Yes.
It seems like I can't say yes. It's like I just don't have that confident yes, I have that desire. It's just I only can answer I must have that desire.
You can't
answer
it. So this is a really great point which she's coming to. The I can't answer the question. The I doesn't want to answer the question. What has to happen is that we hear Jesus answer it, and then we admit he's right. It's just admitting he's right. See, the I can't find, because the I made it up. So it's not going to be able to admit the problem. You see, so we have to ask Jesus, do I have this desire below my level of awareness? And then hear what he says. And if he goes, yes, see, and then we can say, okay, is he right? Is he right?
And that's where I can't seem to come up with the definitive yes. It's like it must be. It has to be.
So you just have to spend time with him on that, because until we're willing to admit it, see, it's the admission where it's like Janet said that time. It's when we're willing to go, oh yes, you're so right, Jesus. Then we can't take full responsibility. It's part of the play of not wanting to see that we have all the power granted by God. But if we keep working with Jesus on it, he'll just keep showing us. Is there anything else he's saying that we can look at, Heidi?
I think I'm ready to just like pass and think about these things. And so what I'm learning is that I'm not willing to admit it yet. And that's why I can't say yes. I'm coming up with it must be true, or it has to, but I just can't seem to say that. Yes, it's true. So I lack conviction in the fact that I'm doing this to myself.
That's true for the play in consciousness. So it's really beautiful that you're expressing that, because even that's honesty of God. That's honesty of God, even admitting that we don't want to admit it. Ask Jesus. That's still very powerful. That's where the
I feel a
power.
little bit lost, but okay, so I just need to get to the point where I can admit the desire for these things. That's where I'm being held up.
But at least we admit we don't want to admit it. That is a step. Ask Jesus. He'll tell you yes. That's a huge step. That's a huge step to admit we don't want to admit it. Because now we're not denying it. We're at least going, I don't want to admit it. See, so we know there's something to admit. Do you see? It's a great thing. It's a very great thing. It's a very great thing. And then he knows we don't want to admit it. This is the whole gig. That's where the trust is, in listening to him and letting him show you, or show us, you, not you as a person, but the totality, all of us, how that play in consciousness is innocent, and how much we don't want to be innocent. We don't want to be innocent. We want to be guilty. But he keeps working with us. So you keep bringing it as much as you want to bring it, Heidi, because it's helpful
Thank
for
you.
the whole. It's helpful for all of us.
Thank you.
Love you, Heidi. Is anyone else wanting to express, or okay, Janet, or ask Jesus?
Well, I just wanted to thank Heidi, number one, but what came to me when she first started sharing about her pain, because before this call, I was fine. And as soon as you started asking, does anybody have anything? I got a pain in my neck here. And as Heidi was sharing, Jesus came to me, and my pain was, I didn't want to. The reason it came up is because I had a desire not to ask for help. And then it came to me that if I asked for help and let go of the pain, that I would be healthy. And then I asked, well, okay, what's the desire that I don't want to? Why am I afraid of being healthy? Because I can't complain and I can't be taken care of. So I don't know if there's still some there. So I guess I want to ask if there's still that desire to hang on to pain so that I get attention and get taken care of. So see what Jesus has to say. Well, number one, I admitted it, so already it's dissipating. It feels like I'm not sure if I got the miracle or not, so I know I'm feeling lighter about it, and the pain dissipated. So maybe you can ask Jesus if there's something else to look at, or if we can have the miracle. Keep looking. He's telling me to keep looking, so this takes me back. He's shown me a time when I was young. And I almost died. And there's anger. There's some emotion that's coming up. Okay, let me ask. I don't know really what to ask for, but something's coming up that it's like, why couldn't I have left when I was 3 or 4?
Why couldn't you have what?
why couldn't I have just left the planet? Because I did almost die and was in the hospital for 2 weeks when I was 3 or 4. And I noticed that that has come up for me before. And it's like I remember Jesus, seeing Jesus, and I couldn't go with him. Okay. So I see that I have a desire to experience some anger at that, anger at Jesus for not letting me leave the body. Wow. Okay, Jesus, I admit it. I admit it. You're right. I have that desire to be angry because I couldn't leave my body. I had to stay here on this planet. Okay, nothing's really coming up right now. I don't know what else
So-
to ask for.
That's okay. Can you just, will you ask him just to talk to you about it, talk you through it? Will you talk me through the Jesus so that this is really cleared and what my purpose really is?
Okay, Jesus, will you help me walk through this so I understand and know what my real purpose is of staying here? It's to love. That came through so clear. I stayed here because I'm meant to share my love. Hmm. Ah, thank you. Thank you. I just, that came through so simple. Okay, I want to see if there's any more energy around that upset with Jesus. No, he's saying, no, I don't have any more energy around it. Sorry about the phone ringing. I can't get to it.
That's good that you're here. We're just feeling the blessing of having you here with us, Janet, in such a deep way.
I'm feeling right now, I'm having a little difficulty. I'm having an experience of wanting to not breathe correctly. Like I'm holding an experience of holding on to something. It just appeared. It just came in this moment.
And what does Jesus say?
Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so I'm willing to admit that I have a desire of holding on to something holding my breath, to not breathe correctly. So Jesus, I admit that I'm having a desire to experience not breathing correctly, to holding my breath. And I'm willing to admit that because I see the desire is there. Okay, I don't really know what to do with it. I'd still
Well,
kind
it's
of,
very interesting because I'll tell you what I keep hearing. There's something just releasing. It's just something releasing, actually. It's love, pure, infinite love.
boy, all of a sudden I can just breathe. Thank you.
You've helped us all breathe easier. You've helped us all with breathe easier. It's so beautiful. Thank you, Janet. We love
Well,
you.
well, I love you, and thank you. And thank Jesus.
Is there anything else anyone else would like to talk to Jesus about for us? That's really what it is. Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, your light things are starting to get to me. When I first started listening and you were laughing all the time, I'm like, I want to punch her right in the nose. Quit laughing. I don't know. I've been listening like the recorded ones. I was listening before I got here. It was like all, just once I found them on YouTube, I'm like, okay, I've been listening. I listen to everything, but it's what's coming in are these. And just, you were taught, I don't know who you were sharing with. Some of them are one-on-ones and some of them are the whole sessions. But you were talking about the body, like, and I have stuff, and it seems like as soon as I took off on this journey deliberately in a car with my cat with $200 and landed on the monastery and all that, that I got more symptoms than I've ever had probably in my whole life, like more things happening. But yeah, and so you were saying it was I was asking Jesus about my desires because I couldn't see them all, and but one of them I could feel was the desire to prove that I'm a body, to prove that I'm this body. But all the things you were saying just now, well, one of them one of them was my foot, and it's so funny you were talking about foot the other day. There was like no mistake. And I saw it as not wanting to move forward. And when I asked Jesus at the gym, do I have a desire not to hear your voice? I mean, the yes came in so freaking loud because I've been saying so loud that it scared, like I had a fear jump up. Oh my God, I just don't want to hear his voice, because if I do, that means I'll be denied. Like it'll be so clear that I'll just be denying. No, I don't want to follow you. I don't want to follow you. Now I asked for could I have the miracle on that? And he said yes, but yeah, I could just see that I would use, I can't hear you. Like when I've just started listening to these since Rita's been there, but well, right before she went there. But yeah, you would keep saying that, and I would say to myself, okay, Jesus, she says I can hear you. So what, and necessarily, I know that I hear him because there are times when I hear him perfectly clearly. So I know it, and I know I can tell who it is because it's real loving. It's love. It's straight up love or humor, or, because he talks to me in my humor. So it's straight up. I know I can hear him. So yeah, when I was at the gym and I asked him, I'm using all these things and the placebos and everything because I asked him, do I have a desire underneath, a fear not to follow you? And I heard yes. And I could just feel it when I asked him, can I hear you clearly? And he said yes, so clearly. I mean, I almost recoiled. I just jumped back from it. It was so, I didn't even hear the full yes. I was so freaked out at how clear it was that I can hear him clearly. So I just realized I'm blocking it, And he also said I have the miracle that in truth I do want to follow. But yeah, but I'm, it has to be a full yes. And now I'm doing a lot of looking and awareness and supposed ups and downs, but I'm just like, he just told me, keep joining. Yesterday, there's a lot of times when I don't want to join, or I feel like I'm half dead when I'm joining because I'm just so resistant and blocked. And he said, I don't care. Just keep joining. I had a miracle this morning. I sleep in my car, and I park at the temple down the street, and it's an old car, and I woke up and I turned it on and it didn't come on, and I needed to use the restroom, and There usually isn't one anywhere near here. I have to drive for a while back here where I am at Starbucks and stuff to use one. But they just recently opened that gas station, so that was the first miracle. All 24 hours they let me use the restroom. And when I got back, I had all these fears, and I don't have money to pay for anything. I can't fix this. And I knew what it was. I figured it out. And it wasn't anything big, but a mechanic's still going to charge you. You know, that's just how they go. And he just kept, I don't know, I just kept giving the fears back to him. I'm like, no, no. And I walked up to someone when the sun came up. I just said, okay, I'm going to sleep in the car. I'm going to talk to Jesus. And when the sun came up, I thought, well, I'll walk back and talk to the mechanic, but there was a gentleman there dropping his little girl off at preschool, so I walked up to him. I don't even know why I did that, but now I do. And he came and started helping me, and we couldn't get, he knew what needed to be done as well, but we couldn't get one of the things loose. And he said, well, there's a maintenance guy here, Fabian, and he has all the tools, and he can do this without stripping it and everything. And when he walked away, he even jumped me, and so we realized that's what was occurring. When he walked away, he said, that's nothing. As soon as he gets the tools, it'll be so easy. And I knew it was Jesus saying that to me. This is nothing. Don't worry about it. And when I was standing there in between waiting for Fabian, he came out. He said, I have a few things to do. I'll come back. I was looking around, and I'm like, this is all light. The birds were singing, and normally I'd be so focused on the self and the body, and I live here. I live in this car. So how will I survive? You know, just the worry and the fear, and I just didn't have it. I just said, I looked around at the light, and I said, everything here is light. And the birds were singing, and look how beautiful it is out here. I got to see the sunrise, the whole thing. So then he comes out and he starts working on it. I'm catching the ego all over. And he starts taking it apart. And I'm like, wait, what if he does it? I'm like, oh, ego, you got nothing. Jesus. I'm like, Jesus is like, I'm fixing this. Stay out of it. The ego basically, he's like telling you got nothing to contribute to this. So don't fear, don't do anything. I'm fixing this. I'm fixing this. And I just loved on him. We just talked the whole time about just stuff, you know, traffic and just stuff, travels. And at the end, I just was so grateful. And I gave him a huge hug. And I told him I thank Jesus for sending the angel Fabian to me today. And you can see it on his face. It was just really beautiful. And immediately, not too long after, I'm driving away. I'm like, reciprocity, I need to go get him something. And I realized Jesus was like, no. I fixed it. There was no body there that fixed it, and it wasn't for your survival. It was the body's survival. It was for you to see that you're taken care of. Just keep following me. Just keep listening, and that I'm worthy. I think that the behaviors that the body does, or the guilt, or you know, all that stuff, I think that makes me unworthy. That I'm not worthy. That I'm not the Son of God. That I'm actually this thing that desires pain and guilt and fear and all that, and he's just showing me that I'm not those things. You were doing one I saw recorded with she's on a lot of, she used to be on a lot of the what's the black girl's name? I can't remember now. She's Jamaican or something. Joyce. Anyway, she has a little girl and a kitty cat. You were doing a one-on-one with her, and I can't remember what I wanted to say. I got off track with the body's name. All I know is I'm just seeing some really deep stuff with listening to, and I'm asking Jesus, like, if I can't see the desire for something underneath, and I just say, well, will you just show me? Like, will you show me? If I can't see it right now, that's okay, but will you just show me? I want you to show me. And I couldn't figure out the desire. Why would how would I get love? I could see the connection between wanting to show God and, oh, look, I really am a body. See all this pain? See, I'm going to die. See, I can't do this. See, I can't follow you. I'm disabled. I can't follow you. I can't. But I couldn't see the love part until Heidi and you started talking. And then I started seeing it. The overdoses for attention, the anorexia and bulimia, so my body could look a certain way to be loved. I could just start seeing down the line where I've caused pain and suffering so that I could have that horizontal attention, that horizontal love. Yeah. So just really grateful for all the things that are becoming clear and walking through the, it's like you don't feel like it, too bad. Join. I don't care what you feel like. That's not you anyway. That's the ego that doesn't feel like it. He's like, I don't care what you feel like. Join. And I did it with NA meetings, same thing. You don't know, or whatever it is. It's just, you just walk through it with him, But I did really that whole thing. Can I hear you clearly? And that big yes was like, I could really see the desire underneath. No, I don't want to follow Jesus. Like I couldn't deny the denial, anymore. I couldn't say I don't see that, because I'm, whatever the reason is, but I could just see that. I'll let him show me deeper. I don't, because, yeah. I mean, because there's something there that's saying, if I follow him, it won't really be happiness. I want to hold on to the placebos and the stuff that I think bring the body happy, joy, or of course they don't, none of them, but ultimately. I'm not sure it's deep, but I could see that, yeah, I don't want to follow you. I have a fear of it or something, I don't know, but I definitely felt it.
Well, you can hear him, Kelly. This is so beautiful. Thank you for your sharing and extending and your just willingness, because that feels so much in guidance, whatever you're doing. I don't know. That's just what I heard. It's just being out. I don't know. That is guidance. It's beautiful that you're following it. And what does he say? Because he's so helpful. Usually it's almost seems like whenever you start talking to him, the first thing he starts trying to help us with is not wanting to speak with him. And is he willing to, can you ask him, or do you feel willing to just ask him about that and see what he has to say?
Willing to
ask him about the reasons not to talk with him and just hear what he has to say about it, and how to get past those reasons. Or
because I think he'll say something that I still want to do. or some of it's the fear to jump, but honestly, I'm ready to jump. I'm ready, like, I don't know. I have that part, I think, like, whatever it is, sell your car and head to Mexico. I don't know. I had guidance, a prompt to renew my passport, and I told Miss Rita behind you, and she immediately, obviously she felt it too, and gave me the funds, and I went right to do it. I really didn't know exactly what, but yeah, it just keeps coming in. So yeah, I think part of me just doesn't want to, let me ask him, stop trying to guess some shit. Now, he says I'm afraid of love. I've never felt love that deep that I can remember, and that it terrifies me, that I'll disappear. And that really, I don't even know what that means, he's saying. That the ego is the one that's afraid that it'll disappear, that it's a false fear that I really don't even know what it means. God dang, I heard that. That shit's pretty cool. Because the ego will tell you, no, you didn't hear that. You just made it up. But sometimes you just know. And when you're with all your brothers and sisters, you know. Because you know. I mean, you just do. Like you said it. What you said, like, I went, I don't even know why, when Janet was talking about breathing, and you said at the end, you had us all breathe, and then I remembered. I did. I breathed. Like, we're all connected. Yeah, I really want to thank Rita and all of you, but Rita, I had all these stories, and we met a long time ago, and she's too hyper, and just all the stories the ego has about, because it's just my ego and her, it's the ego that, judging, and the time we've spent together recently, and just meetings and everything, there's so much love and stuff that's come through, and the judgment just falls away. You know, like all the judgments I had when I first got on these things not too long ago, you know, about, this is weird. I don't understand. I can't hear it. But it really does go below. It does go below all the darkness, and it's really amazing. I'm just getting this, like, just getting this, because that's what she was saying. That's what you were saying to her. That, because she joined on a lot. And there's nothing wrong with expression sessions. I was on one today. It was wonderful. I got to share that miracle, but she was saying she felt like she had to go through the darkness, like she had a belief that she had to go through the darkness. And you were saying, no, this is totally, Jesus is bringing in where you go below the desire to even have to do any of that stuff. Does the light say you have to go through the darkness? No, it doesn't. I mean, that's just freaking beautiful. Yeah. That's amazing. You know, I'm really starting to feel it, like it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how it's going to look, you know, but that's okay.
Oh, that's beautiful, Kelly. Thank you so much. We love you. We feel you every time you're on with you. We just feel you. We feel the love. So thank you for bringing your beautiful presence to us and all your sharing. It's beautiful. Yeah, no darkness for this team. We're going through it. Do not pass go immediately to love. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Muted us. Okay, very good. Are there any other shares? Do we feel complete? Or Teresa, did you have something? Or anyone else? It feels complete then for now. Thank you so much for this holy joining, and thank you for the new beings that spoke up and really shared from the heart with us. It's so beautiful. We're very grateful. Thank you. Happy hologram.